Super Draco here, and we're back for stage 91 of Build the Battleship Bismarck, the aft fire control post. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the aft control post 91-04, and we're going to fit the cog 91-06 into the large hole. Then we're going to drop a metal shaft through the cog and then into the secondary hole. Then we're going to take cog 91-13 or 07, I'm sorry, and we're going to drop that down and mesh it with the first cog. Then we're going to take cog 91-08, and that's going to go on the shaft on top of the first cog, and you can see where the motor's going to attach to it, so you know if you've got it oriented properly. Then you're going to take the base plate and fit that down on top of it with two 2x5 millimeter PB screws. Now we're going to bring in the motor we put the wire and the label on in stage 89. We're going to lock that or mesh that into the gears, and then we're going to mount that to the base plate with two 1.7 by 6 millimeter PV screws. You want the circuit board pointing where the wire plug is at the rounded part on the front. Now this isn't in the instructions, this is just something I'm doing on my own. I'm bringing in my test board and the battery box, and I want to give this a test before I move on, so make sure it's able to spin freely and properly. So the camera's not picking it up very good, but it's spinning. Now it's not spinning as good as I would like, so I'm going to take the screwdriver and I'm just going to loosen up the motor so the cogs can spin a little more freely. And now it's spinning much better. So now I'm loosening a little bit more to see if I can improve it any more. And it's about where I think it's at the best, so then I can just turn it off and take out the test board. So next we're going to take the rotating dome and the aft mast 91-02, or I'm sorry, the mast is listed as part A on a sprue, and we're just going to glue that to the spinning dome. Then we're going to take the side parts D from the sprue and attach those to the sides like we did the other two spinning dome. Then we're going to glue the rangefinder arms into parts D, and you want the rangefinder arms, you want the protrusions on them pointing towards the side of the spinning dome with the 2 holes instead of the 4. We were actually supposed to do this earlier, but I did it out of order. We're going to take the base of the dome, 91-03, and we're going to attach that to the top of the control post with a 1.7 by 4 millimeter PV screw. Now I'm just checking the spinning of the motor again, because now I've put another screw in it and I want to make sure that's not interfering. And as you can see, it's getting caught up. It's not spinning as fast or as freely as I'd like. So I'm also going to loosen this side up. And it's still getting caught up, but it's actually worse now. So I'm going to loosen it. And then I'm going to tighten the motor on the bottom a little bit, because with that thing on top now, I think it's going to need a little more strength or better connection. Now it's starting to spin a little better. The gears are still grinding just a little bit. So I'm just going to see if I tighten that down way more what's happening. And I think this is about as good as I'm going to get it. So then we're going to drop the two target indicators, part C, into the roof of the control post. Now you want that angled section pointing towards the 4 holes. And now we're going to fix the rotating dome to its base. Then we're going to punch the hand and foot rail structures, part E, from the frame, and then we're going to glue those to the rangefinder arms. Next, we're going to punch out ladder G and then glue that to the aft mast. Then we're going to punch out ladder F and bend the tabs into place, and it's going to glue into those 4 holes on the front, or I'm sorry, on the back of the control post. Then we're going to take the cooling coil, part 91-10, and that's going to attach to the front of the dome, and we're going to glue that in place into the holes on the front. Or, I'm sorry, I think they're on the sides, actually. Then we're going to take the ladders with rails, part 91-09, and that's going to go across the back of the rotating domes, but you want it to go in such a way where the rails do not cover the holes in the middle, and instead it will mount on the sides. Finally, we're just going to glue the radar antenna into the 2 holes on the front, and that's all we're going to do in that stage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for stage 92, the turbine room.